Hey there. I just want to take a break from the sports genre a bit and address something that, to borrow from a well-known and very funny character, really grinds my gears. This unfair criticism towards The Simpsons and Family Guy. Now, The Simpsons, of course, premiered on Fox. It started out as short skits for the Tracy Ullman Show back in 1987 from 89 to 89, and the series officially premiered on December 17th, 1989, with the Christmas special, Simpsons Roast on an Open Fire, and it ballooned from there. So yeah, and I watched The Simpsons since I was about 7 years old, and I remember at the time I wasn't familiar with the concept of cartoons being on at night. You know, as a kid, you used to see cartoons in the morning and sometimes the afternoon, but not at night. And so yeah, I love The Simpsons. I'm a big Simpsons fan, and but in recent years, it's been the subject of a lot of unfair criticism. What's one statement I've heard a lot? The show is stale. It's been on too long. And the main statement I keep hearing is The Simpsons has been funny in X amount of years. You know, pick a number, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25. The magic year, the magic year they use for this argument is 94. The Simpsons has been funny in 94. This has been said on episodes of Family Guy, though I don't think Seth MacFarlane means it. Seth knows better. Okay, I'm a big fan of Seth MacFarlane, and I'm a big supporter of him, a sympathizer, if you will. But Seth knows better. Seth knows that basically if it wasn't for The Simpsons, Family Guy wouldn't exist. Seth knows where his bread is buttered. So he's smart enough not to mean that. Others aren't. People really do believe The Simpsons has been funny for this amount of years. And like I said, statements like that, like I said, it's a miracle my head hasn't exploded. Because a statement like that is so stupid. The Simpsons has been funny in about, 20 years, they say? 25 years? Think about it. If The Simpsons hasn't been funny for that long, don't you think Fox would have canceled that show? I mean, come on. If the show has really been this bad for this long, I would think the people at Fox would have said back, about 10, 15 years ago, this show's not as good. We're just going to axe it. But they haven't. Why? Because the show's a fucking classic, that's why. Unfunny shows don't stay on for 30 years. They sure as hell don't hit the big screen, which happened on July 27, 2007. I saw that movie twice. and yeah, I kind of have a few of the movies. I kind of have a theory about if and when another movie happens, but I'll save that for later. But the fact is, people need to think before they start criticizing. They say the show has been funny for this long, but it's still on. So evidently, it's still funny. And it's been winning awards left and right for years. And at least in that regard, The Simpsons is getting the credit they deserve. Family Guy, not so much. Because Family Guy premiered on January 31st, 1999. It got the Super Bowl premiere. Because it came on, here in the West Coast, it came on after Super Bowl 33. I think in the East it came on before the game. But, and it ballooned, and it did balloon from there. It actually did get canceled briefly before they brought it back, only to get axed again in 2002. And this is another thing that upset me. Because the reason why it got axed, because some people said it's crude and it's trash, and Fox, instead of defending the show, actually took that as gospel and canceled it. Yet, in the 3 years that passed, when Fox failed to find a void, to fill that void that Family Guy left, and after seeing the reruns get buku ratings on Cartoon Network, and the DVD sales just go like hotcakes, and yes, I was buying them. I bought copies of seasons 1 and 2 and 3, the early years, on DVD. Fox, I still to this day say they did this. Fox went down their hands and knees and begged Seth MacFarlane to come back. And on May 1st, 2005, Family Guy returned for good. And one thing I've noticed is Family Guy has become a little loose, has become a lot looser than they were in the early years. I think this is because those people at Fox know that Seth MacFarlane's a cash cow. So they're basically kissing his ass, again, like they should. But even then, They've been on consistently for 14 years since they came back, but even then, the unfair bias and criticism remains. It's crude. It's unfunny. It's trash. Well, here's my favorite criticism. Family Guy is a Simpsons ripoff. I'm going to repeat that because it bears repeating. Family Guy is a Simpsons ripoff. Oh, my goodness. So they're accusing Seth MacFarlane of being a plagiarist. They're saying he ripped off The Simpsons. Because Mike Judge sure as hell didn't do it. Oh, wait. There was King of the Hill. So, yeah, there goes that. Family Guy is a Simpsons ripoff. Because they're the only animated show that's premiered in my lifetime since in the 90s, since 1990, since 1995. They're the only animated show that's copied The Simpsons. Because King of the Hill didn't. Seth's other shows, American Dad and the Cleveland Show, the latter of which has since been canceled, they didn't. South Park isn't trying to be like The Simpsons. No, they're not. Neither is Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is definitely not like The Simpsons. Or that new show that's on Fox now, Bless the Hearts, comes on every Sunday night at 8:30 between The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers. That show's not trying to be like The Simpsons. Definitely not. It's Family Guy. It has to be Family Guy. Oh boy, the stupidity in that statement. It boggles my mind. Like I said before, it is a miracle my head has not exploded. You know, it's so asinine that it's funny. It's so asinine that it's funny. And Family Guy, first off, why, if they are copying The Simpsons, if they are be like The Simpsons, why would they get criticism for that? I mean, The Simpsons is like upper echelon in television, let alone animated television. So why not try that kind of formula and see where it gets you? You know, some have succeeded, some haven't. But pretty much all animated shows that premiered beginning in the 90s, ever since The Simpsons' popularity, pretty much all shows that have premiered since then, all animated shows that have premiered since then, have tried that attempt of being up there with The Simpsons. Family Guy is. Bob's Burgers is. They've been on for 10 years. But Seth gets the flack and is labeled as a plagiarist. He's not original. You know, it's more hatred and bias against that man, and the fact that he doesn't have an Emmy for that show is evidence. I mean, how is a show that funny, has that staying power on and off for about 20 years? How does that show not have an Emmy? How? I don't get it. I really don't. And stuff like that is why I can't stand award shows, though I kind of started back watching them a few years ago. But as a whole, I can't stand award shows. I get mad at award shows. I used to not watch it, but like I said, I kind of started a few years ago. But most award shows as a whole, they don't give credit where they deserve. They don't give credit to people who deserve it. They give credit to people they like. That's all it is. It's elitism. It's elitism. It's why Family Guy doesn't have any Emmys. It's why Adam Sandler doesn't have any Oscars, because those two appeal to average Joes. You know, they don't appeal to the upper elite. That's why they get trashed. It's all about elitism. Some people say, like, they have the Oscars so white thing. Some people said it's racist. I don't think there's racism in award shows. I think there's elitism. I really do. I don't give a damn about color at all. Just give credit where credit's due. You know, and but that's the case with Family Guy. They've had staying power for pretty much 20 years now. They get no respect. It's ridiculous. And the Simpsons has had the longest staying power. They get some respect, but even then we get the dumb comments like this show hasn't been funny since the mid-90s, which makes no damn sense at all. Because like I said, if a show's been that bad for that long, Fox would have pulled the plug. You know, so it is what it is. And about the plagiarist thing, I think The Simpsons kind of joked on that in an episode, in one of the Sideshow Bob episodes. this is the Simpsons geek in me talking, but the episode, the Italian Bob, I remember they had a picture of Peter Griffin, and it said El Plagiarismo, which is plagiarist, and the same for Stan Smith, El Plagiarismo, which means it's a ripoff of a ripoff. But again, just like when the statement about the Simpsons was mentioned on Family Guy, Matt Groening is just joking. Because I think Matt has a high regard for Seth MacFarlane. If he didn't, he wouldn't have had Seth MacFarlane do an episode of The Simpsons. And if neither one had respect for the other, then the Simpsons Family Guy crossover sure as hell wouldn't happen. So they know better. Matt knows that Seth is kicking ass, and Seth knows that the Simpsons raised that bar and opened the door for him to do his thing for primetime animation. But it's certain so-called fans and experts that bug me with these dumb statements. I just hope people see the light about that and see that The Simpsons is still as fresh as ever. They wouldn't be on TV, they wouldn't, and that Family Guy is definitely deserving of Emmy consideration, and Seth should have about as many of those statues as Matt Groening does for The Simpsons. Not more, because Simpsons is up there, but he should be neck and neck with Matt Groening in the Emmy category, and that's all I gotta say about that. So yeah, my NFL review will be up very shortly.